Yeah, come on. Let's slide in. We're gonna run a little bit longer here. Go with Carter Hutton. Let's go.
And this is unannounced.
Thought we
by
had
the way.
something here. This is.
Why am I looking at this picture? Jack in university.
Why are you looking at Jack?
That's when Jack was 17 years old. He looks no different now. He was a man-child
Yeah,
at
he's
17.
a genetic freak.
72 points later, I think, in college.
I played at Lowell again. I wasn't there. He's lucky he would never scored on me.
Yeah, okay.
yeah. I remember playing BU when I was in college. They were like an NHL team, I think. They won the national championship the next year. The whole 8 guys were in the NHL.
Okay, let's get right to it. We have a couple questions. The most important is body fat.
Yeah.
Are we under 10?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think so.
Really? You're a goalie.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Why are you putting me on the spot right
Well,
now?
what are your numbers? How many spots do they pinch you?
Lots. I don't know. I have marks all over me. They mark you with a pen. They prod you and poke you, and I think they do like.
You almost feel violated, eh?
A bit. Yeah. You're used to it by now, eh? You know, you just deal with it. You try to suck in as much as you can.
Like, do you stretch a lot? Like, do you stretch as much as Andy Moog?
Yeah, I
naked
stretch.
between the beds when I was his roommate.
Not naked.
Oh man,
I know. I stretch a lot though.
I'm still scarred over that.
I stretch like every night before bed. I'm like constantly stretching. My wife's always laughing at me because I'm on the floor doing something, or just like becomes part of your habit. You know, like every day you have to do it. Especially as you get older too. It's like becomes more and more like just part of your life, right?
You have to.
So it's definitely an important part of it. And
You're pretty bulky for a goalie.
Yeah, I found when I was in college, I was like lighter. I played at like 1.
Like you have shoulder caps. Like a
strong,
lot of goalies are all like they're just bone and fat.
These guys are big here. Like Linus is big. Hammond, the other guy. Wait till you see Hammond's pipes, man. They're humongous. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, huge pipes. It's nice to look at. But I found in college I played at like 185. I used to run way more, and I wasn't durable. I'd always be banged up. I'd always be hurt. Now I'm about 200 pounds, and I'm like way more durable. Like so, body fat maybe went up a bit, but I'm just like way more durable. And like for me, at the end of the day, like I'm not worried about a body fat. I'm worried about being durable and playing good hockey, realistically, right?
So how's the mood in there? How the first day for the boys? A lot of these guys, especially the young guys, are nervous. You know, going through the training camp type stuff. And you know, how are you feeling going into this season? How's the vibe in the room?
Good. I think the first day is always like a bit anxious, right? Guys are just like with testing and stuff. You know, the mood's kind of quiet, and I think as we get in tomorrow, it'll like crank up more, right? I think everyone's testing gets in everybody's head, right? You just want to get it done with and do it.
I feel nervous now. I don't even know why.
We opened the show talking about that, Carter. We were talking about like I used to get so nervous. I mean, like I could train all summer and practice the test and feel good doing it, but then when you actually get to the test, it's like the nerves, almost like the build up, the emotion, the build up to it, like takes away from. And there are other guys who just got on there and cranked it out.
I know,
and they drove me nuts.
The testing's good. Like they don't. I think a lot of the stuff's realistic here. They do a good job of that. The bike test is the tough one, right? You do 3 minutes on this watt bike, and any way you want to attack it, it's tough. It's just
what is it? As far as you can
like a
possibly
Wingate?
go?
Yeah, so it's not a so Wingate's like the quick 30 seconds. This one's 3 minutes, and it's kind of like a VO2 max. They're like figuring out your average watt based on your weight. So if your weight, like, so if I weighed in at 201 today, so I need to produce at least average over 400 watts.
The entire 3 minutes.
The entire time. So any way you want to attack it, right? So the way that our strength coach kind of told me to do was to go 2 minutes trying to sustain a certain RPM, right? So I think I was at like 103, 105 RPM for 2 minutes, and then the last minute just try to go all out. And by the time you get to that last minute, you're like, he's like crank it up. I'm like,
lactic acid kicks in.
There's
the
not a
brain
whole heck
starts
lot
to
there.
shut down.
Yeah, it's more a mental test too. I think it's physical and mental, right? You got to push yourself through it, the durability. So that's a good test, right? Especially for young guys who haven't really experienced a pro life. It's just keeps guys honest and seeing where they're at.
Well, how many years have you been a pro?
This will be my 10th year.
So talk about how training, like camp testing, has changed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Like now,
no bench press test anymore.
No,
I
mean, they do a bench here, but it's lightweight, more just like explosiveness things. Yeah. So I remember before, like doing like max like squats and things. Like even in college, we would do these crazy tests, and it has no translation to hockey. Right? We're now everything's so dialed into what we need to be the best in the rink. Right?
I remember like my last year here in Buffalo, we had 4 guys scratched for the first week of training camp because they blew out their hamstrings, maxing out their 450-pound Pacer was one of them.
Remember Nathan
One guy had to
Gerby?
go for back surgery.
Remember Nathan Gerby?
What? Do I remember him?
Yeah.
Of course
remember him
yes.
squatting? It was.
Well, he had to go down like
I'm not
as
kidding.
low as that coffee
he was
cup.
this tall. He was 5'4". I can't even tell you how many plates he had on it, and he was popping up and down. Like I was like, is that really normal? But he only had to squat about this much.
Yeah, range of motion.
Anyway, things have changed so much from I always wondered why. Why are they doing that? Why are they testing how much a guy can squat? Guys were getting injured. We had a lot of injuries at camp because guys were maxing out.
Yeah.
And the run test was the same thing. Anyway.
The beep test, and now like in the summer, I don't even train. I don't think I go under a barbell the whole time. Like there's literally all dumbbell stuff. You do deadlifts for some explosion, but like literally majority of my workouts are like just with dumbbells now because you're trying to just keep your discs. You don't want to put a ton of weight on your disc. It's hard enough as it is as you get older. Like now you just need to train.
Well, especially goalies too, wrenching around.
Of course,
cranking
it's more
their
body
spine around.
control.
So how
right,
do
in my
you, as a
opinion.
goaltender, prepare for a training camp? Like I know you come in probably early, come with the boys and do the captain's skate stuff like that. But as a goaltender, you need that technical part of your game to make sure that mentally is. What do you do? Kind of like moving into coming here. Like, are you on the ice like through the July months? Like,
So I stay off the ice now. I used to go skate a lot when I was younger. Same idea. Any skate I would just go do. But now I've found same idea is I'm going to get the reps. I'm going to see pucks as soon as camp starts. So early in August, I start skating with, there's a goalie coach back home, and I just do like kind of a private session. There's 2 goalies out there. Another goalie from Thunder Bay plays for the Devils. So we skate, and it's just all foundation stuff, right? So I'm trying to slowly like get all that technique back before I like ramp it up. Because even when I come in I've been here since Labor Day weekend, and the skates are good, but it's like there's so many guys, the shots are coming. It's not really realistic. Like when in a game does a guy get a puck at the red line, skate down to the hash marks and zing one on you, right? It rarely happens. It's more in zone technical stuff. So I take the whole month just to like kind of build up my foundation. So then when things heat up, I kind of have that ready to rock.
Do you find your training, if you're just tuning in, Carter Hutton joining us here, do you find that your training over the years has changed because of, you want longevity in your career too? I mean, like obviously you got to think about today, the cliche athlete, got to think about today and stay in the moment. But reality, I mean, we all have an expiration date, and I think we all want to kind of push it as long as we can. And I think that starts in the middle of your career too, the adding years to
the reality is, what are you, 33?
33, yeah.
You're in your prime. As a hockey player, as a forward, you're talking about prime being around 25 to 29, and defensemen are a little bit later, and goaltenders, you're in your early 30s. That's kind of like the prime of your career.
Yeah.
Would you not say?
Definitely. I think the way like physically I feel great because I've changed the way I train. You're staying away from things that like just hinder you. A lot more like functionality in my workouts, right? Things that are going to adapt me to the ice better and sustain an 82-game season's long, right? And then I think mentally, just like your smarts, the experience you have, the way you play the game, the way you can manage a game differently, right? Where I used to want to just like get on the ice and go, right? Where now you can kind of set yourself up better for success.
You're in an interesting spot because it's not a lot of times goalies are just kind of stop the puck, show up to practice, that kind of but you're a leader on this team. Like you're a guy that we've seen your interviews, and tough nights where you're not calling guys out, but you're not afraid to tell everybody how the team played, yourself included. How is that for you? Is that a different position you've been in over the years? Because a lot of times you're looked now more as in a leadership group where you know what I mean, where goalies are kind of left alone to do their thing.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing when we talked about coming in here during like free agency, that that's what they wanted from me. And I had a relationship with a lot of people here coming in, and I think early on in my career you were just like you were just happy to be in the NHL, right? You were just doing everything you could to survive, and now you realize you've earned the right to be a leader on the team, and because you hold yourself accountable, right? I think it starts with every day doing what I need to do to. So if I do say something to someone, it comes from a good place. It's for the best of the team, and it's a tricky transition right now because I find, I've talked about this a few times, it's just like the generation of, like you come from the old school way, right? Like I grew up where if a coach, got mad at me, I didn't go home and complain to my parents because my dad would get mad at me that I got in trouble, right? There's no like sympathy. You come back the next day, try to prove somebody wrong, right? Where now a lot of these guys aren't, like it's harder to have that tough love sometimes with some of the younger generation. So I think like having someone in the room where we can find a better way to like be more self-accountable to each other and individually is going to like propel us over the top, right?
Some guys don't know how to do that, though.
It's
some
tough,
guys, some
right?
guys are afraid to hurt feelings.
Like
and
our accountability in the locker room, like you talk about the younger generation of player that are coming into this league, that internal, I'm talking in the not necessarily from the coaches or the assistants, stuff like that, but the players in the room. Is there that accountability in the locker room right now?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it starts with Jack too. Jack's like he's a heck of a leader for a young guy, right? He's still he's still pretty young, and he had to mature fast, right? And I think it starts with him, and he does a great job. And I think last year, one of the things he focused on is like controlling emotions, right? He's a passionate guy. He wants to win. He wants to play well. But he did a great job of, I think developing in that sense where we tried to create an atmosphere. And I think coming to this season, it will be good that if somebody says something to you, it's from a good place, right? It's not like same idea as me. I don't think that I'm on this like pedestal. I can't be, some days you need a kick in the butt, right? And that's why you hold your teammates accountable. And I think that Jack does a great job of doing that along with, the other veteran leader guys.
I think there are guys in the league. We played with one who, I think a lot of people misunderstood their body language and emotion on the ice for, being angry or disappointed when really it's caring. Like Thomas Vanek, would get angry and slam a door, but it wasn't because he didn't score. It's because he feels like he let the team down. There's a different mindset and perspective from it from the team standpoint where guys say like, hey, relax, man, like that chance will come again, like. But I find it common with a lot of athletes nowadays, just how misunderstood they are.
Yeah, I think it has to be understood in the right sense, right? Where I find sometimes, even last year, we did some exercise with one of this leadership group we worked with. It was like 5 positive things about a teammate and 1 thing they can improve on. And even mine, I feel like all my negative things were like not to be so upset after games. Where, like, in a sense, I'm like, okay, I understand that, but it's my whole life, right? Like, I put so much into this. I want to win. I want to be a winner. So, maybe you find a better way to control that and bottle it, but it's coming from a place because I care, right? It's not, I'm not pouting. Even if we win a game, 4-3 and I didn't think I held my own, I can play better. I leave there trying to find something I can do better. Of course, at the end of the day, it's about winning hockey games, right? If we don't win, it's not the answer. So I think in that sense, it's just sending it in the right direction. And I believe some guys' body language, is misunderstood in a sense, but at the same time, majority of these superstar players, it's because they just want to be the best. So.
Sounds to me like times have changed, eh? Like I feel like now when you lose in junior, their coaches are going to put a movie on the bus now.
I know.
It's not like the old days where it's like we got to win or we're not going to get a movie on the bus for 5.5 hours.
There's not one word said.
Yeah. Quietest bus ride ever. Hey, Carter Hutton, good luck to you, man. Thanks for stopping by.
problem.
Always a great guest on the show. Instigators live from the KeyBank Center. Training camp opens today. They hit the ice tomorrow. We'll be right back. Some more players rolling through. And Old Man River, more training camp stories coming up. WGR 550 and MSG.